Good morning, everybody. Ciaccio here. Let's talk about, and I'm not a CPA, I'm not a tax attorney, I'm just an everyday guy like you that's filed my tax returns for many, many years. All I'm going to talk about today is kind of like how to keep yourself more organized when it comes to you having to do your taxes at the end of the year. A lot of us put stuff here and put stuff here. So we all have our own style. I'm going to kind of tell you a couple different ways that I've done it. Hopefully it helps you out. If you're a C Corp, okay, those for large companies, something that we wouldn't do. Big companies like Amazon, Home Depot, those are the big guys with the C Corps. We're mainly going to be either an LLC or a S Corp or a sole proprietor. Okay, so you got to get with your financial advisor, CPA, to tell you what is best for you. Okay, now when it comes to saving your receipts, what I've done in the past is that I used to carry a day timer with me. Okay, the day timer was strictly for the CPA at the end of the year. And every time I bought something, I went to Walgreens to buy a pen, I went to Home Depot to buy a paper, went to Office Max to buy a new printer or ink for my printer. I used to get that receipt, staple it into the date that I bought it. Right on there, Office Depot, printer, $137, ink, $42. And from there, I attached the receipt on the back. So every time I bought something, I would attach it. So at the end of the year, I went to one spot. That book it got kind of thick with all the receipts in there. But at the end of the year, I had everything there, had everything listed. And then depending on what my schedule was, I would do a monthly, how much money I spent on ink, cartridges, copy paper, pens, all that stuff that had like a little thing for me to have an idea of what it was. At the end of the year, I would tally up all 12 months, give that book to my CPA. He didn't really want it, but I gave it to him. And then from there, it had all of my expenses, so he can transfer it from there to my actual tax return. Now, mileage. Whenever you go to work, you can write off mileage. And the mileage is supposed to be from your first stop. So what a lot of people do to get a little more mileage, they'll go to their office in the morning, which will be their first stop. Then from there, when they go to their first appointment, they'll be able to take it from the office to the appointment. If you do it from your house to the appointment, that's not the right way to do it. Okay? Throughout the day, you keep track of your mileage. From there, at your last stop, your last appointment, is when basically your mileage stops. You're not supposed to get mileage from your last stop home or from your home to your first stop. A lot of people go to their office in the morning, they go to the office in the afternoon to reap the benefits of doing it that way there. Now, the purpose of doing the book, to me, keeps you more organized. At the end of the year, it's all done. Now, if you say, Joe, I don't have time to staple everything, I've done it for a couple of years, or more than a couple of years. I keep envelopes in my car, list them January through December. When I bought something, I write on the outside of the envelope, Office Depot printer, $247. Then I put the receipt inside of that envelope. So at the end of every month, I had details on the outside, receipts on the inside to back up what I bought. You need to get with your financial advisor or tax advisor or CPA to advise you how you should do it. Okay? When you have an S Corp, you can get a salary, which is deductible. When you have a sole proprietor, you don't pull out a salary. You're actually taxed on everything you've made minus whatever expenses you have. So you need to get with somebody who can tell you the pros, the cons, and what is the best way for you based on the amount of money that you're making. I would write down every expense that you feel is proper. When you get with your CPA, they'll say, Joe, you cannot write off. Years ago, I wanted to write off my clothes. I used to go and take my clothes to cleaners, used to have my shirts starched, my pants nice and neat. So you can't do that. Okay, so now if you had a uniform, you can write the uniform off. Yet if you want to look nice and have your clothes starched and your pants pressed at cleaners, that's on your own dime. Taking a client out to have lunch. The rules are, don't quote me, but I'm 99% sure it hasn't changed. You spend $100 at lunch, you can write off 50% because the 50% was you, the other 50% off was your client. Okay? Almost everything that you spend for your business, okay, your cell phone, depending, I write off a percentage of my cell phone because I also use it personally. And my mind just went blank. There's a lot of things you can write off. Now, chargebacks you can't write off. The reason you cannot write write them off, is because the carrier automatically deducts that from any future sales that you've made. So let's sit and say you're supposed to get a check for $5,000 this month, and you got a chargeback of $1,000. Okay, $1,000 is deducted from that $5,000, you're going to get just $4,000. So they do all that for you. Okay. Let me see what else is over here. I'm not going to go over what you can write off personally. Your car. You have an opportunity to write your car off with the car insurance, any maintenance on the car. Yet, what I found out through the years and also speaking to people is that the mileage is the best way for you to do it. You're going to get more bang for your buck on the mileage. You can write off advertising. Any type of advertising you do for your business, you can write off. Office expenses. If you have a pension plan, savings plan you can write that off. If you lease an office, as I lease an office here, it goes towards my S Corp. I bring in X amount of dollars, takes off my lease here, all the way down to what I've got to pay. Okay. Travel, if you got to go away on a business trip, you can write that off with the meals. My utilities, I can write off here. There's a lot of things that you can write off. The thing is that whatever style you want to do, just keep it to where you do it on a regular basis. Either put something in an envelope with details on the outside, so at the end of the year, you've got it nice and neat, or the way you can staple everything to a day timer to where that will hopefully help you out at the end of the year with your CPA. With that said, guys, make it a great day. We love you. If you need anything, give us a call. Bye-bye.